Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rowena Robinson and I am your boss babe queen. Now, welcome to season 2 of Boss Babe series. I know it's been a hot minute, but I didn't want to just put out Boss Babe series unless there was something relevant for me to talk about. Because as much as my channel is for fun and entertainment, it is also educational, which is why I always say my channel has a bit of something for everyone. These Boss Babe series are based off my experiences. For this particular topic, I wanted to talk about how can you, as a Jamaican student, get into the UK. I am a Jamaican. I left from high school and I came to the UK. I feel like there are opportunities here and people are exploring those opportunities, but I feel like people suffer from lack of knowledge. So this series is going to cover that. I'm going to share with you my experience and what I did to get into the UK. And if you're interested, then continue watching. Also, drop your questions down below and I will try my best to answer. Disclaimer, I am not an expert in this. I'm telling you my experience on how I got into the UK. Alright, because it might be the same or there may be changes in the process. We don't know, but I'm gonna delve into it because I feel like, yo, I'm gonna let y'all know that these are opportunities here and you can come over and stuff like that. Like, get it together. Come on. Okay, so I am coming from the standpoint of being a student first. So you're obviously, by now you would have been in a Jamaican high school, right? As I said, I'm doing from Jamaica into the UK because that's my experience. I know nothing else, so I don't have authority on the topic, so I can only give you what I know on, right? So yeah, you probably done 5th form and you were in L6 or 6, right? So this is the time when you start to think about what universities you want to go to. For me, I definitely didn't want to stay in Jamaica. I remember being in L6 thinking there is no way I'm going to come to a Jamaican university. That was just my preference. I just never wanted to do university here. I wanted to go abroad. And I was leaning towards England for a number of reasons, which I won't necessarily divulge, to be honest. But I was leaning towards UK because one, it was different. It was America. And then two, I just was intrigued by UK and wanted something different and just decided, you know what, let me try out here. So by this time then, if you're in a position where you're thinking, okay, yes, I want to go to a UK university, you should start doing your research. What is it that you want to study? What field do you want to go in? And what universities in the UK are applicable to your field or, have good reputation when it comes to the area of study that you want to go into? For me, that was business. And once you find out kind of what you want to do, then you can kind of like hone it down in terms of university searches. So for example, as I said, for me, I wanted to study business. So obviously, I can already filter my research into universities that are good in business. Now, another thing that you may want to do is look into location. Is it that you want to go to a particular area in the UK? Maybe you have family members or a friend in this area, so you may be more drawn to that area. You may want to go somewhere closer to that area. Again, by location, you filter down the universities by location. So you can say, if for example, Birmingham and 10 miles out, if that's okay with you, or whatever filter you want to put on, right? So then all you do is go on the internet, do your research in terms of go in and type in universities good on business in Birmingham or 10 miles out. And Google search will just automatically give you these results. And then you can start looking into them. As Jamaica we come from. So not for we're not really rich. We just try and make it all count. Not for we start from the bottom and go up, right? So usually you also want to find universities that may be able to potentially give you a scholarship. See what the scholarship requirements are, see what scholarships are available to you and what each requirements and criteria are for the scholarships, and then see how you can fit yourself into that. Not only that as well, but also look into the entry requirements because there's some prerequisites for going into these universities, right? So what is it? What are the prerequisites? How can I filter in? And what you will find is that sometimes your grade or the exams that we use in Jamaica and in the Caribbean on a general basis are not necessarily the grading system that they use in the UK. So you will find that they have a conversion table So obviously you need to find a conversion table and see what does that translate into Jamaican. What is it that I need? If I need capes, how many capes do I need? How many this? Yeah. Right. Also, in L6, this is the time when you start looking into a process. Well, during my days, I started looking into a process called UCAS. Now, UCAS at the time was a systematic approach to coming into the UK. It was whereby international students were able to come on, go onto this application, UCAS system thingamajig, sign up, apply, send out applications to different universities. So all the universities that you would have, decided on or put on your list due to your prior research, they would come onto this UCAS thing now, right? And you would send your applications on that one platform, UCAS, right? I think for Canada it was like OCAS or something. So if you want to go Canada, it's OCAS. For UK, it's UCAS. I really don't know remember what it stands for. If I do find it, I'll pop it up on the screen so you can see it and stuff. But also do your research because, as I said, I am relaying to you my own experience and how I got from Jamaica into a university here, then how I am now working here and stuff like that. So I'll just tell you like that whole process, yeah? After you've sign up on UCAS, there is a fee for sign up on UCAS. I would not quote a number because I'm sure that, like, I did that 6 years ago, so I'm sure that has changed now. So you can obviously just do it yourself and look into it yourself. But when you're on the UCAS thing and you signed up, and then you send your application to different universities. On that platform as well, UCAS, you can also see when they've responded back to you. So they will ask you for like your preliminary grades. So for example, I submitted my CXC results and my L6 results. So like CAPE Unit 1. The university that's going to accept you, they will send you a conditional offer. Conditional meaning I will accept you if you provide me with the remainder of your grades and they're good. So when you get a conditional offer, more than likely you get into, unless for some reason something absolutely weird happened, and even then you can't really say that they won't accept you, because in my case, I'll tell that story a different time, but in my case something weird did happen and I still got accepted into my thing, yeah. So on UCAS now, there will be, once you've applied to the university, they will send you updates. So the university will say declined or conditional acceptance. I think you get about 5 universities that you get to apply for. Well, in my time, it was 5 universities that I applied for on UCAS. And the results came through. Once they vetted it, they'll tell you that whether it was in process, or whether it's completed, or it had been reviewed, and the outcome, whether it was a conditional acceptance or it was declined. So if you got a conditional acceptance into however many universities, right, you then narrow it down, right? Because what you want more than likely is options. You don't want to have this one, unless it's the one that you definitely want to go for, then fair enough. But for me, I like having options. So I applied for 5, as I said, and I think I got accepted into 4 because 1 had declined. But that was fine because the one I actually wanted to come to had conditionally accepted me. So once you've done that, now there are prerequisites, as I said, that they will tell you, okay, we need to see this, we need to see that, you need to do this and do all sorts, right? Now, I would have finished upper 6 and I made sure that I checked my prerequisites to see that these universities who have already applied for on UCAS want from me. So I know, I need to perform at this level. You're going to CAPE, you shell on CAPE, and then you come up back, you send your results through. Because what happened was, once CAPE was through, then they send you. I got an email from the university saying, hi, we've just been aware that CAPE is now out. As I said, these are international universities, so they will be made aware when different results are out and stuff. So can you send me your results? As I said, something weird happened with mine, so that's a different story for a different day. But after you've gotten that email, you would send them your results, and they will then give you a firm or a unconditional acceptance, or they will decline. So once you've gotten in Jesus' name, you're gonna get the unconditional acceptance, and now, honey, you're fully there. It's firm. It's not gonna change. Like, you're coming. Then you will need to do a number of stuff. This is where you need to go to the embassy in a town. the UK embassy. You're gonna have to book an appointment. You're gonna have to pay for the application and stuff, and then you have a number of things that you will need to carry. This list will be given to you, one by the embassy of what they require for you to go in, and by the university as well. So you will get a list. It's just for you to check and ensure that whatever is on that list, you have it. In my time, if I can remember some of them, I needed to have I need to understand where I was gonna stay, whether I was gonna stay on campus or I was gonna live with someone. My mom is here, so thankfully I got to live with my mom. And then like my mom or the person here, if I was gonna live here, needed to show how I was gonna fund myself here. So it's either the person can vouch for you to say this is my account, and they'll send their bank statement and everything to say I can facilitate this person here, and that I will be in charge of their food, their living costs, and all sorts, and it's my account. It can show you that I can do it, right? Or you will need to say, you know, I'm gonna have to do this and do that, and you have to work out the logistics of how you will do it, which is why I'm saying if you can get a scholarship, that would be good. That would take a heavy weight off your shoulder, because as an international student in the UK, it is not the easiest. I will be real. Your university fee will be a lot higher than home students fee, and your availability to work will be reduced. It will actually be stipulated by the government. So when you get into the UK, you will only have 20 hours to work. You cannot work. You cannot surpass that 20 hours, and your school fee will at least be 1.5 times what home students pay, right? So already they increased that, but reduced your ability to work. So like you have to pattern out how you're gonna have to come by those funds, because honey, they're strict over here. Everything is online, and if your school fee is not paid, they will block you from the system, so you cannot access it. And if over a period of time you haven't paid it back, they can deregister you from the university, and that means your student visa is revoked. Because remember, you're getting this student visa now, because you're only coming to UK because you're able to study. Your sponsor will be your university, right? On a student visa, your sponsor is your university. So if you no longer is the sponsor, which is a university, deregisters you from their university, they no longer sponsor you. That means you have to go home. So think about all that before, all right? This is why I said, if you can secure a scholarship, do that, because it would take the burden off your shoulder. Then all you'd have to worry about is your living expense. Are you going to live on campus? Are you going to get a scholarship that covers tuition as well as living costs or accommodation? Then fine. Back to the embassy now. When you get to the embassy, or before you get to the embassy, they will tell you a list of stuff that you need to bring. So you will have to have, if you're getting sponsored by the university, you need to have a sponsorship letter, and you need to state how much it's gonna give you or whatever it will cover. You also need like your grades, and obviously they're going to take your biometrics. It's as with any visa process, because they're gonna issue you with your visa and stuff for you to be able to enter the country and stuff, right? As I said, do your research on the list, because I don't want to tell you something and then I'm telling you do your research, because it might change, and it's always changing. But you go to the interview. You do not be late for that interview. Hello? Please do not be late for that interview. And read carefully what you need to do, because they don't play. They don't play, and it's very easy for them to say, oh, no, So you know what you want. You got to go make it better for yourself, so don't be late. Once you're in the interview now, they'll be asking you questions, all right? Why do you want to go there? Who do you know there? How long have you spoken to them? For example, if you're getting sponsored, obviously you won't know anyone there, but you can tell them your university and the person you've been in contact with. However, if you have someone there who says they're going to sponsor you, you must show or prove that you have a relationship with this person. For example, it was my mother. So how do I know? How long have I spoken to her? I remember them asking me, when was the last time you spoke? And I'm like, this morning. And they're like, okay, they were quite happy with that, and da-da-da-da. They're going to want to know. They're going to dig, because they're not just going to give anybody, okay? So have the acceptance letter. Have all the things, even things where they're not asking for carrot, just in case. Now, once you've gone through this process and they have decided on an answer, so whether it's yes or no, or the decision is made, then they will tell you. So if it's yes, they're going to take your passport from you, because they're going to have to put your visa in it, so to speak. in my time, they had put a temporary visa in, and then when I get into UK, I then was issued my biometric residence permit. I know that for 2024, so that's next year, BRPs will no longer be a thing. So the end of next year won't be a thing unless they change the law until then. So, as I said, it might change for you. So I don't know what like that whole process is. I don't know if that visa is not gonna be valid for the like remainder of your time, your tenure of your time in the UK. But what happened was I then got issued when I got the visa, booked my tickets and everything, and flew into the UK. Let me tell you something. The flight, I don't know if it was because I was coming from Jamaica. Now thinking about it, maybe it was because I was coming from Jamaica and they needed to acclimatize me to the weather I was gonna face in UK. But that was the coldest flight I've ever been on. And bear in mind, I've traveled before. It was my first time on a plane. That was the coldest and longest flight I've ever been on. It was like 9 hours something. And brother, it does feel really cool. So preparing for yourself, you know, one little jacket now I gotta do. I'm gonna go Hampton, so you know Hampton cool. Some of my jacket and my socks and whatever. Bro, prepare up. Anyways, once you go into the UK now and you get to the university, you will have an international advisor. Majority of the universities that do sponsorships and have international students, they have international advisors that you can ask any questions and stuff. So you go your BRP and collect it all and everything. You go in with the visa and they do all the different checks and stuff, right? And whatnot. And then like if you had like if you were a scholarship recipient, then they will tell you where to go to sign up and stuff like that, accounting and all the stuff, all of that. Now, the BRP that you get issued with when you get into the country, it serves up until a month or 2 months after your end date. 2 months after your end date. Once that's ended, then you either have to find a job that sponsors you or do something else to stay here. But that means that's done. You gotta go. However, in 2020, they came out with this new thing called graduate visa. So anybody who graduated after 2020, they get graduate visa. So you see, when that 2 months time after you finish your course, so if your program, for example, is 4 years, after the 4 years has ended and you've gone into the 2 months period, that's when you would apply for a graduate visa. Yeah, so you get 2 years under that graduate visa. All right, so the graduate visa differs from the student visa. With the student visa, there are a lot of limitations. You cannot work more than 20 hours. You cannot do anything entrepreneurial, so that means you're not able to have your own business. You're not allowed public funds, all these different stuff when you're on a student visa, because your sole obligation is to be a student here. You're not here for anything. With a graduate visa, however, you can work a lot of hours. You can do like entrepreneurial activities and stuff. And as I said, it lasts 2 years. After 2 years up, again, you need to find another visa route of getting like, you stay in the UK and stuff, alright? But I just wanted to make that aware that is not in depth. It's going to be different for everybody based off your circumstances. So if you have somebody here, if you don't have somebody here, if you get scholarship, if you don't get scholarship. But I just wanted to like start this Boss Babe series off with that bit of information so that you don't limit yourself when you choose in universities. Like, the world is massive, and with the increases in technology, it is becoming a global home. So you don't have to limit yourself. You don't have to feel like, yo, I have to do it here. And you still don't even have to have money, bro. As long as you do your research and you find the necessary resources that can finance you and stuff, you don't even have to have money. Because even like, say you've done your degree already and you're thinking, oh, I wish I knew that for my degree. You can do it for your master's, because there's a Sheepname program that happens for Caribbean countries that allows Caribbean people to get into the UK as well. So if you wanted to do your master's, that's an option. But don't ever limit yourself, because you might go out into the world and see just how broad the world is and just how much of a change you are able to make. Hope you guys learned something new, and I hope you guys shared it with somebody as well to look into UCAS, look into maybe going to study in the UK, and also look into the culture of the UK. If you're going anywhere, I would expect as standard, you would look into where you're going. So the culture of the people, the weather here, because UK is not for everyone. It really isn't. but you gotta just want it for yourself. So if you do want it, look into it. It's an option. Don't ever feel limited by your circumstances or by who you are. You may go there and smash it. I came here and I got my bachelor's with honors and my master's with honors, and I am now working in an international company, and it's absolutely great. I have no regrets. All right, so you can come here and do the same thing, if not even better. Okay, so look into that, and we'll see you in another episode of the Boss Babe series. Bye.